Uh, Good morning, everybody. And woke up. Uh, but I was just going to say, I, I can't believe how, you know, how the world's got so quiet. You don't even hear a pin drop. You know, it's sad that seem like, you go on these sites and, you know, most most people, or well, the few that I've heard my wife speak of, and some of the others, you people being rude and and posting out your views on something or your uh, all your stuff seems to run off all people that wanted to come out and say hello to the world. Which, in a way, if you think about it, you know, social media sites are just not good. I mean, they are really horrible just due to the nature that you can get people that, like I said, they treat themselves worse than they do their own pets. That's pretty bad. I mean, you know, I've seen it on both ends. I've seen it on the family side. I've seen it on, you know, and even if they ain't nobody that I know that ain't family to me, they're bad too. I'm about to realize that you can't even, you're not even important enough to get any, you know, personal information that you need when you meet somebody nowadays. You know, so nobody nobody thinks of giving out their number or whatever, to, but well, it wouldn't matter anyway. They wouldn't answer it. They wouldn't answer it, or they wouldn't text you anyway. So possibly, I mean, knowing how my luck is. So I mean, I got through. It was probably about, it's probably not even been 6 months ago. Had one of these people bring my wife home and got her number, and she didn't do a damn thing with it. My wife, I sat there and watched her. My wife called it. I called it 2 or 3 times. I tried leaving a nice message, say, hey, Derek and Jessica, you just took my wife home. Just telling her how it was the last time I went. Well, yeah, it ain't even been 6 months. This is probably about 2 months ago. Seems longer, but it's been about 2 months ago. It just goes to show. I mean, it's weird. Like she can go on a walk, or I guess anybody can, and they'll stand out there at their damn door. And now, because I was on the phone with my wife the other day, and I was, trying to talk to my wife about something. I don't remember now what it was, or something other, and she's like, "Hey, let me let you go." And I could hear the lady, but I couldn't make out exactly what they was going to be talking about or anything. But I mean, they put up, like I said, these people. My one of my old sayings, or the saying I came up, well, one of my new creations of sayings has come up. I don't know if anybody uses it or not. Probably not. But I've always accused you people of not going no further than your mailbox or the next door neighbor's yard. because it's about as far as you go to, to your mailbox and back, or to the next door neighbors. You won't do nothing. Lord help me if somebody gets out and walks. That's the only time if somebody's out there doing something, piddling around, that's the only time somebody feels led to say anything. You might as well not even say nothing. Because it never goes anywhere. They say, "Oh, I've got 100 things to do, and I got this, I got that, and I did this, I did that." Well, if you got so much that you can't work me or my wife in or anyone else in, if there's somebody else out there that's been treated like this, don't do us that way. Leave us alone. We put something out there, and I explained it before me and my wife went to bed last night. I said I did not put that out there for somebody to have 100 fucking things in the way. When I put this unicorn thing out there, the ones that showed the most interest were nobody with kids, nobody with a lot of baggage, not much of any work in the way. I mean, what was done, or what was in it, but it wasn't like, I mean, it was going to, it was going to determine what way I go. The one we had the most chance to get, and everything didn't turn out. And that's, like I said, that's been 4 years ago now. But out here, when you do get somebody to show some little bit of interest, and like my wife said, she's right. And I'm not ever said she wasn't right about this. It's just I hate seeing this happen to her, and I hate seeing it happen to me. Even though I don't meet them now half the time, and she just, like, sometimes she gets frustrated with it and says, "Well, you're never out there with me." Well, she knows why. I can't risk getting these shoes torn up and everything else. My foot on one side drags more than the other, and it's hard to, for me to get up and down this driveway here. It's not level. It's not concreted. It's not been smoothed out. So, the one time I had found somebody to do a little something with it, it's already gotten right back out of shape again. Not, just soon enough as it rained a couple of times, and it was right back to the way it was. If not a little worse, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. It's, nobody seems to have any self-respect anymore. Like I said, they'll treat the damn dogs and stuff better most times than they will anything else. And, they'll have donkeys and jackasses and whole 9 yards of other things sitting there feeding them in the yard, or whoever. My grandmother, when I lived up there, she had ducks and dogs and stuff like that. She didn't have any cats back in, but now it's cats and dogs and whatever else up there. Yeah, and there was some roosters and chickens. Like I said, she had several things up there. By the time it was doable. But I don't know. I can't answer this question because it seems no matter what you do nowadays, it's like nobody cares outside of a few things or a few people. And that's bad when your own workload gets in the way of trying to make a few minutes here or a few minutes there, and that you feel led to just not want to care. It's not like we said. It's not like I don't see, that y'all have. I mean, most people besides people like us, people like us, we get penalized if we work anywhere. Um, the government takes out so much on our checks and stuff, and you know, um, but I can understand. My wife, she don't feel the need, anymore to, want to get up so early or want to sleep in a little bit later. I would too, but I'm like an alarm clock. When I get up, I have to get up. But it's sad what's come of this world. When me and my wife was just kids, there used to be, at least it seemed, there used to be a lot more people putting effort into making sure that whoever they ran across, they at least smiled at, said hello to, small stuff. And well, did they always hand out their numbers? No, I didn't say they did, but and that's the thing. But what I'm saying, like these people come out and they say, "Oh, I saw your stuff on the board," and they don't act like they're. And then, like I said, I'm to take the part out where I've never seen any of these people, but they act. They put on an act and they put on a show. First, they don't tell their name. They don't tell you anything but what's already in their pile, which mostly offends me now, I have to say, because they care more about that than they do trying to show any interest in a person's offer. We didn't know that, like my wife said, she didn't know. It's not her fault. I mean, it just sucks, having to realize what kind of people are. What kind of people we got out here, and what kind of just you know this is what society has turned to, because you can't fix everybody. I mean, you can go around and tell a few people, if you feel led to, but you can't fix everybody, and it's going to be more of them than they are of us, all the crooked people. So, and I'm not talking about mean people. I'm just talking about in the way they do. Because, like I told my wife, they try to pile on everything they already got. They're trying to say, well, I can do this, I can do that, but it's going to take me 2 months, 2 years, or whatever. Lord, every person that comes, every person that comes up to my wife always makes me or her wait every single time. Like nobody can't just have this stuff in already figured out, knows they got everything that they need to have ready. I mean, yeah, you'd expect a couple things to have to be done on our end, and some things have to be changed, and addresses, and whole 9 yards. Stuff would have to get moved, but nobody that's come out there has shown to be interested, prepared. They see somebody walk out, it could be anybody, but my wife, it happens to her too. That she's just out there minding her own business, and these damn people come out the door. Oh, Derek, I met this one's dad. I met this one's mama. I met this one's uncle. Or I met. It doesn't matter. They like it because it's a spur of the moment thing. Big whoopie doo. I told my wife, I said, one thing about it, I wouldn't do these people the way they're doing this, but I am now. I if you don't know what you want, and you're that confused, or if your baggage is so tight right now and you're scraping to get by, you're like my dad used to be. He's like, by the time his check got gone, he can't be affording to help anybody or take anybody in. He's got he had bills, and time he got through, yeah, he had time for his own sons. He never disowned his sons or anything. He's always good to us. But you can't get one lady to say, "Hey, I'm ready to go. I got this stuff already. I don't have no baggage, no kids, no nothing. Nobody's tried to get me pregnant. Nobody's tried to force herself on me. If they did, I'd give them a good a good punch or something. If I were a woman, I'd be mean. Trust me. I wouldn't let nobody. I wouldn't let nobody touch me like these women do. They fall for everything. Most of them do. A good portion of them do. They'll fall for anything. They see their mom or dad that brought them in the world do it. They think they got to do it. That's the problem. They think they got to have kids. They think that men don't. I'm not excluding my wife, but most women out there right now, I bet think, these men don't know what they're talking about. They don't have to do this or do that. Yeah, you're damn right. That's the way we were made. That's just like I'll tell you a little personal story that Connie told me. She said, just because we don't have the thing down there, said doesn't mean it don't hurt down there. She said, I've been crotched on barbed wire once by accident. She said it hurt. Well, I'd say so, it's barbed wire for one thing. But crotching yourself, you know, if a woman says it hurts down there, it hurts down there because a lot of people say, well, they don't have that down there and it don't hurt them. Well, apparently there's some. Like I said, I don't know, but that's just why it come from Connie, and she's a big old woman, so if something hurt her, it hurt. Um, but you know, again, it is sad to see what we've come to, but I told my wife they have to one day just come to the realization that no matter what we do, no matter what we post, no matter what we put out, tried the social media thing, tried putting these post things up at the pig and around. I mean, we could still try it for a little while longer. But I told my wife I'm not going to make me and her wait till we're 50, 60, 70 years old. You know, I've still got over 10 years left, before I hit 50. But, I'm not going to sit here and make us wait 4 or 5 more years or something. I think, at this point, we've got 4 years in. It still don't feel like we've gotten any closer. You know, it's a shame that the only thing that we have to go back to is some fucking crack whore that, was out here walking the streets on purpose for no reason. Just out here trying to get her a little attention. Well, and I came up with that too, attention whores. No reason for them to be out past anybody. Man, woman, child, there's no reason you should be out unless you gotta go to work, something important. There ain't no reason you should be out past midnight. or 11 o'clock. Well, just let me say this, past dark. I mean, unless your house caught on fire, unless somebody, came in and robbed you or something and something happened that you couldn't control. Yeah, emergencies. But I damn sure wouldn't be out walking in anybody's apartment, house, or whatever. Now, if there's my next door neighbor and I could, I might, wander over there if they had a light on for me or something. Knew I was coming, for example. But yeah, it's sad. And like my wife said, nobody comes out here now and talks. Nobody chats. I mean, my wife was born into Florida. Florida's a lot different from up here in Decatur, Tennessee. Decatur, Tennessee doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. It don't have hardly any African American people. It don't have a mixture. Most of what's up here is Caucasian white, and there's not hardly any. If you was trying to get an attraction started on the outside with most of these people, they're so ugly. You probably wouldn't want to look at them. Most people up here, anyway. And I'm not tooting my horn either. I'm not saying I'm the prettiest in either, but but it's just like I said, I don't toot my own horn, but I'm just saying from what you see on TV, and because partly that's what starts the conversation with the girlfriend thing or the whole, as they want to call it, and the whole 9 yards. Most times people have to have an attraction. Says, man, she looks like somebody I want to talk to. There's something about it that most time it has to start somewhere, and that unfortunately, yeah, men and women, it has to start somewhere. There has to be something. Just like these people wrestling on TV. They shave their legs, they shave everything, and that's why they look so clean. If they want to, if for their character, if they want to grow a beard out, or if they want to look like a old hairy monkey, well, that's what they look like. Because that's part of it goes with their character or something. There's a trait there, and it, or whatever, and it looks, and it fits, so they don't mess with it or something. George Animal Steel always had a hairy chest and back and everything else. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to say, because I mean it's sad. I mean, we come so far. I tried doing, like I said before, tried going out there and trying to do jobs, and people just don't know how to run the ship. My wife told me the other day that, speaking of that, Beverly ain't there anymore. And, oh yeah, they got a pretty young one now. Now that I'm going, they got a young one up there, supposedly. The whole time I worked up there, like I said, no disrespect, but the ones that, well, I take, there was that little bitty Sam. There was a Samantha up there worked up there for a good while. I lied, but I mean most of the main manager, the main ones that's in charge, the main ones, when they're in there, they're all pretty good size. But you know, and don't get the wrong ideas. I was there to do my work or whatnot. Like I told them, I would keep telling them every day, I'm there to do my work. I really don't want. I gave a few people a try when I first started. I gave some of, even though I knew it probably wouldn't do any good and stuff, probably end up, where it's in the way. So yeah, toward the end of my run, I would just tell people, look, I really don't think this is a good idea because you just think it ain't gonna work. You can't make time for someone or somebody. Like I told my wife, we don't have a whole lot for one thing to do. I mean, except regular house chores. We already have everything took care of. Everything is the only thing. If somebody took this offer right now, if we had somebody beating and banging on the door right now, wanting our offer, the only thing they would have to make sure of is that they had us a place to go. Because the main thing that's going to bother them is moving. Because they can't live here. You know, you can visit. You know, if we had somebody, unlike the ones my wife unfortunately sees, they can't fucking get off their fucking lazy ass and come up here at this driveway. I told her it ain't her job to chase them down. It ain't my job to go out there and try to chase these people down neither. Neither one of us. But no, I'm gonna tear down everybody that plays like that. Yeah, I think everybody deserves a chance. But when they illustrate, I don't care if it's been a day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, but you can honestly see the pattern, and it doesn't take me long to figure these people out. They're trying to do what the crack horse crowd does, and they're trying to fit everybody in. They're trying to make room for other people that they can't afford. Not money. It's not about money. Me and my wife's not about money. But the thing that bothers me is they're always trying to fit something else in, time or something they don't got, which is time. And they can't help what their schedule is. But at the same time, I would just say respectfully, I'd say, well, you got this much to cloud up your day, then you can't take other people in. There's two of us here. And like I said, there's two different people's stuff. There's my stuff, there's my wife's stuff. She's got dolls, there's stuffed animals, and there's all kinds of other things. She can go out here and at least I'll say this, she can go out here, pet her bunnies. She can go up there to the cows. They don't never let her down. They're right there. If there's one right there, she can go up there and pet it. She can go up there and talk to it. It don't do what these backwards people do up here in Decatur, Tennessee. They at least pay her some attention. Yeah. Huh? Come here, sweetheart. What you say? Come here. You got to pet one last night? Snowball. She's got she's got names for them. Come on. You want to come over here? You want to sit here? I'll pet you. Okay. She's just waking up. But no, I don't know. I'm like her. I'm confused. Uh, this is something that is just noticeable, man. I can't help it. You can ask her. I'm not smart at a lot of things, but one thing I am good at is reading people. I know within I know. Well, I don't want to make it sound like I don't know anything, but I don't watch everyday news. I don't watch. I don't. Oh, I know. I know you think I am. And I always thought I had a pretty good look too. I mean, if somebody saw a picture of my dad, but I don't toot my own horn. I don't say I'm $1 million. I don't go out there and be like one of these damn celebrities and get or some other person out here walking the streets begging for people to look at me. You know what I mean? If you want my attention, it's simple. You can come up here and get it. But, well, but anyway, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Y'all make it easy for me. Uh, you know, out there on social media land, even in person, you make it easy for my wife to help me make my own determination, and it's usually pretty easy. It is not. It doesn't take me long to figure out that all the ends want is 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's all you can spare. 5 minutes. And like I said, I don't care if you went to Kalamazoo. Oh, I just got back. Oh, I just did this. Well, keep your mind on that. I ain't changed my mind. My mind is not changed. If you've got something so important, you've got family, you've got kids to worry about, you've got other people living with you that's family to you, you've got stuff that you have to do every day that takes a good portion of all your week up. Oh Lord, here comes the woo woos. Ah, you better not be over here. I don't like I say. uh, I think they're going somewhere. But it's just the most annoying thing when you when you hear that stuff. It's just again, it's like just trying to figure out, you know, what else do you what else do you do? What else do you really say about and stuff like this, and the times that we're in, and yeah, everything's not easy. But one thing that shouldn't be that hard to do is to make when a person comes up to somebody, they should be shown the same respect that your family showed you. If you don't have the time nor the place to make somebody else that's not even bothering you, whether it's me, my wife together, or whether it's one of us walking down the street, which my days of doing that's pretty well over. We're up here. It's not level up here, and I know because I tore my shoe up out here. It's tough. It's all my wife can do to get down this road, I bet. So you can just imagine the way I had to put up with, etc. When they've been up here, they've had to put up with it too. But I can't help it. But if y'all won't come to the door and y'all won't take 5 minutes out of your time to just come in here and do something, show some kind of interest. We're not, Memo, me and my wife, I know what, me and my wife ain't asking for a lot. We ain't asking you to stay nights here. I'm not going to have what happened to us a year ago happen anymore. I'm not moving nobody's stuff in. I'm not going to lie because, for one thing, what our situation is, we would have to have time to get to know you. Like I said before on the video, I don't want other people's family members and other people's friends and shit all over me and my wife when we first meet you. I would respect you more, and I'm sure my wife in the long run would appreciate it more if we could just have what you got, whether it's you and a kid or two or whatever. But I would prefer it be no kids, nothing in the way. It would be much easier. Like I said, it'd be much easier. And you know, I just, you know, people's just not wired up. I mean, like I said, people will treat stuff that's out on the road and, you know, dogs, cats, or whatever it is, it's weird. Like they'll get better treatment than we give ourselves. And my wife, just like most people, seem to, like I said, they treat that stuff. That because more people you'll find more people have more for that than they do anything else. But we I'm not talking about trying to run over my wife or anybody that I don't know, but I'm just saying in general people treat that better than they do their own people. They anyone they come across, any neighbors that could be, you could have you could have a bad neighbor, don't want you to do nothing. They just you know they some out here, like I said, we know. Just cause you move next door doesn't mean you should go to their door and hand them a cake. It doesn't mean you should make them cookies. You learn that. Maybe you could have back in the old days. Maybe that was a thing in the old days, but people just in general doesn't. I'm not just talking about celebrities do that already, but just any old Joe, any person out there shouldn't do that. Like I said, we'd like to see something nice and pretty and all that, kind of thing, and different, in the way that you're made or whatever. But you can't go by it. You can't. Oh, my wife was just telling me, oh, that's and I know they got looks on the outside, but that's it. They have no, they have nothing. They have nothing else. That it's what you got on the outside. It's what they're fooling people with. I bet if somebody else walked out through there, they'd be doing the same thing to them. And a lot of people, a lot of people would. I could walk out there and they wouldn't come out to the door.
Yes, you would.
It would. I've walked through there 100. I bet we between me and my wife, I bet we had walked that place several times out through there, and I'm not just talking about 5 or 10 times. We used to get out there and walk, me and her together. She's trying to hold my hand so I don't, fall or something. But these damn people was nowhere to be seen, whether that was them. Oh yeah, we saw old Jennifer and some of them yahoos. Another one of them people playing people. And again, they always got shit in the way. Every time you don't have any time for anybody, you shouldn't throw each other's crap on top of each other. Somebody else. You should respect them. Now, me and my wife's in a rare situation, and we're in a rare, thing where we just said I've done a doctor appointment occasionally, or like I got to go to the dentist. I'm trying to go there if everything works out and try not have to reschedule again. But we'll see how it goes. See if Wednesday we get our checks or something. I'll be sure to have the $3 to get up there. But anyway, yeah, I don't know how y'all really make it easy for somebody like me. I mean, to you can be happy for about 2 minutes. You know, you can be excited because she's excited. I mean, at least her distance voice over the phone, I didn't get nothing out of it as far as anything. Couldn't make out what was being really said or nothing because my wife's trying to talk to me. She was kind of, I think, either coming home. I can't remember if she's coming home. Yeah, and But these people, you know, they gotta have it, and they need to stop. I mean, if you got stuff, I mean, you don't want me beating and banging on your door. You don't want my wife beating and banging on your door, or going up to everybody's door, and telling them about me and her. Do you? Stop it, please, for the love of God. I mean, if you don't have the stuff to do anything with, or you ain't interested, please stop it. That's all we're saying. You know, bottom line is just do whatever it is you need to do. Most people, like I said, it's kind of 9 to 5 job they got, but there's also many people that we ain't heard of that have a hard time as it is. Some even worse than us. I'm not gonna wait around till I need. I hope I never need any nurses or nothing else or some stuff like that. I hope that never happens to me. But I'm not going to sit around and wait for some hot ass nurse to come around here wanting my attention or someone else's, because I don't want to sit there and I don't want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's just something. They'll wait till, like I'm saying, they'll wait till your own purpose need something like that, and they'll be, oh my God, you can't get rid of them. You can't get them to quit. It's exactly the opposite. When you're like me and my wife, we still got some energy to burn. We still got stuff we'd like to go out there and do. Small stuff, simple things. And oh yeah, I see this, I see that. And like I said, my wife just ought to do like that Maurice thing and just throw her hand up at you and go on. Because because like I said, y'all make it so easy. Y'all must not have the brain function to realize you make it so easy for me or my wife not to say one thing hardly. If we gave you 5 minutes, we know we'd be wasting it. I would love for there to be an opposite reaction to that. I'd like for there to be a good something come out of somebody when you knew you were giving them your time. That your time was not being wasted, and that your energy and everything that you're putting out. They say that people come up all the time. Oh, I like your dolls. I like this. I like that. Yeah, everybody does. The ones that you don't want, usually. I mean, aside from this, but they say, "Oh, I like this and like that." But again, it goes silent. Just silence. It's it's getting old. We've been through a lot. I think we deserve some type of reward at the end of the day. Did I say we're the only ones? No. But I didn't say we were the most deserving either. But I said in my own way, the stuff we've been through, there needs to be some kind of light at the end of this tunnel. I don't know how you're going to see it and how you're going to get there, because apparently everybody else is taken up. Everything's taken up. So, there's nothing to get. No. There's no attraction out here. There's nothing. It's dead except for when somebody sees an annual parade event, or God help me, the damn fire comes, once a year. Hey, whoopie doo-dah. It's the same 200, 300 freaking people with fucking kids. Let's not kid ourselves.
Oh, my bad kitty.
It's all it is. No, you're not.
Bad kitty.
No, you're not. They're bad.
Kitty's bad.
No, you're not. She'll learn to just keep walking. It'll take her a little while, but she'll learn.
But she called me first.
No, I know. My wife will learn. Like I said, if somebody was interested, they'd be coming up here at your
But
driveway.
she said you would give me a free bar.
So, again, everything that's wrong with the world is how we treat each other. It's a shame. Animals get mistreated too, but at least most animals out there have good owners and they actually get better treatment than we can say for ourselves. We get a certain age, things seem to change from our own families to how other people treats everybody. Yeah, I'm not going to toot your horn on your stable of friends or your stable of people that you like so much. I have to see that for my own self. Don't don't push things on other people that they ain't ready for. If you're the one in the thing at the moment and you're the one that's in front of me, that's who I want to pay attention to. I don't want 100 people around me and my wife trying to get to know everybody out at one time. I think that's what burnt me out on all the gatherings. My wife had it was just the same fucking people and there's just no interest. You couldn't have one here and go maybe see a couple of people at one time. It might have been a lot easier. Like I said, there's back in the day, my wife can speak to having her own family gathering. She said they used to be so much better. I can speak to that. I didn't give a shit who was married and who was what. But when I was 27 years old, 28, in there, it was different. I was supposed to be the star of the show. Not all of the show, but just part of the show. But they didn't treat it that way. They act like there was nobody there, nobody knew. Nobody knew. They did. I mean, you can ask my wife. They basically did that. Yeah, it's sad, but that's how they treat their guests. That's how they go and treat everybody. Everybody knew. Like I said, if one of them people's houses burnt down, apparently you gotta be a fan. You gotta belong in their fan club, not just her family's fan club, anybody's fan club. And that's one thing I don't do. I don't. I don't figuratively kiss ass. I don't literally kiss ass. I don't. If there's somebody that I take a liking to, then and my wife takes a liking to, then you're going to have to beat what you hear in this video. Because everything that everybody teaches is backwards. They tell you everything is backwards. And that's why you end up treating people, handicapped or not. It's always, I've seen it out on Facebook. One says they got their heart broken. One says, "Oh, I'll never do this anymore. I'll never do that." You just need a little time, sweetheart. Like all people, I've had my heart broke too. You just need to give yourself some time. Care to know the things that I know about people, even though I don't know you from nowhere. Anyone I'm talking about. I know what their name is. I don't have to put their name out there every time. Ain't but about 7 people on my list. But the thing is, point is, if they did what I did, if there was more for me to pass around, you wouldn't just flaunt yourself out there and every damn guy or every damn girl would come up to you. You wouldn't want to talk to them. You'd do your work, whether you're at school, whether you're at a workplace, a job, you'd find that more important. The only thing that matters is you. when you try to mix people in your circle and you, yeah, well, Derek, I want some of them people like me. I want somebody to say good things about me. Well, I do too at times, but if you don't care to ask them all the hard questions, and if you don't care to get the information you need to get out of them, then they don't care either. They're not going to ask. So you have to be the one to ask for their phone number, their address, get to know the things they like on TV and things they don't like to do, and the activities that the outdoor things and everything. I mean, I could go into every subject. Whether they drink, whether they smoke, whether they do drugs. And you say, well, Derek, they put on a good front. And, yeah, my mom did too. A bunch of people have. But you know what? When you're talking to me and when you're in front of me, I'm paying attention. I'm looking at you. I'm listening. Whether you take my advice to heart and you apply it, that's your call, not mine. I've been good I've been a good advisor. I'd be a rich man right now if I could go around to each little kid's school and preach all this stuff that needs to be taught to young kids and young adults out there, whatever. I mean, you just give me the floor, I can tell you what's wrong with you. But you know what? I don't do that because it's just like churches are. I mean, my wife knows. Well, I prefer so and so, and I prefer this, and I prefer that. Well, we prefer a lot of things. We want things to go right, but you can't get a good service every time you go to church. You can't get a good deal every time you go to a car deal. Sometimes you get a good, sometimes you get bad. But there never should be any questions when it comes to people, how people should treat one another, no matter what color they are, no matter what problems they have or had happen to them. They should take full responsibility for what happened to them. And in a rare instance that you were forced or had something where you couldn't control it and you were fighting, trying to do it, but you ended up in a situation kind of like you hear on the news, then I can understand you. But if you willingly go up to a drug dealer or put yourself out there with a bunch of these people on purpose, smoking and drinking just because you see it on the news or on the TV in a movie, or your people do it, your family, well, monkey see, monkey do, Derek. Well, like I said, that's what's wrong with you. Most people don't want to admit they're weak. And like I said, I ain't tooting my horn. I ain't perfect. Nobody is. But you don't have to be classified being perfect if you know what's right and what's wrong. Like I said before, the right choice is going to be a little bumpy. But if you make that wrong choice, oh man, it's going to be 10 times worse. 10 times worse. And you know the difference. But y'all do it anyway. That's why it's so hard when my wife has tried to, bring someone up. Just as an example, my wife's tried me several times. People from Hawaii, people from out here. Like I said, she occasionally might get somebody, oh, hey, how are you? I saw this or that or whatever, like I said a while ago. But they have no, and apparently from this last time they're saying, oh, what about so-and-so? Where's he at? Where I'm supposed to be, at home. I'll answer it for you. at home. When I'm out, on a rare occasion, me and my wife, like she said, you can't help it. Y'all don't show no interest in nobody. It's the same fucking people. Same ones that work down there. Poor Gene Wade had hired one, had to get rid of her because one of them fucking pension whores. Like old crack whore or whatever. Telling her drunk. So she end up she didn't last that long. I told her it's gonna get to where Gene's gonna have to sit there one of these people down and have a meeting. Well, it's like I said, I worked at Hardee's. It seemed like I couldn't work there at Hardee's. After about the third year, it got to be pretty bad. Everybody coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. I mean, it was like a revolving door or something. Oh, they'd stay there long enough just to get one check or something. Out the door, they'd probably be a couple months go by. They used to have an incentive program, which, hanging up back there in the back. Oh, yeah, Derek, and I don't go over it. I don't mind. At Hardee's, they had this little thing where, seeing I got some of the incentives, but I was only a part-time. But, for example, if you work there part-time, like me, for example, you don't get many part-timers, but for example, I got the 20% discount card. I got a keychain. And I got, now I'm just going by what, I'll get there in a minute. I think that was it for me. The other stuff, you had to be a full-timer. Oh yeah, if you worked there, well now wait a minute, I got a little increase on my salary. I did get that. It was like a 5% or some small. After you stayed there a month, all these you can get. Everybody can get. So if you stay there a month, that's what you got. Well, the rest of the stuff, like the cooler and the bigger raises and all that, you had to be full time. Or backpacks or whatever. And like, oh yeah, you stay here 60 days, they're gonna hand me a cooler, they're gonna give me a cooler. Why are you trying to do that for? And after 3 months, they ain't gonna give a shit. I think my wife would catch on to this. Why would you have an incentive program? Because after 3 months they're going to get bored. If you're out there, if they know they can only stay 3 months and basically get all this in 3 months, they're going to say, well, why don't they give you something after you've been here a year? You know what I mean? Why don't you have something for 10 years, 5 years? The incentive program shouldn't just be for the first 3 months and you get everything and then you're done. You know what I mean? That sounds silly to me. But anyway, I rest my case. I just thought it was always the stupidest idea to have a workplace give you incentives. I mean, I saw that back there and I laughed at it. Not out loud, but I just, in reading it, I just thought it was funny. Because, I didn't even bother to ask. If they gave me a keychain, I took it. Now, the stuff my wife was talking about, after you've been there a year, any promotional item that they have that's like a mug, cup of some kind, or whatever, a t-shirt, like she still got that t-shirt. My mugs are up in the cabinet. I just hadn't hardly ever got them out to use them in a while, but there was a couple of those. Anything, if you've been there over a year at Hardee's, I don't know, other places may do this too, but they were, I was like, how am I getting this mug? How am I getting this or that or, whatever. And Lisa at the time explained, she said, anybody that stays over a year or longer gets whatever promotional item that's, like me in that hat. I remember there was a hat, Call of Duty hat. When I first started there, they was promoting a Call of Duty game or something. And that went on for 2 or 3 months. And then, oh, you got to change your hat, Derek. Now you got to wear a regular hat. So, you know, and just like I said, though, it's sad what we have to realize, how we have to treat people. We want to be good, we want to be nice, and try to give everybody a chance, but y'all really making your chances not count. I mean, we'll be nice to try to give you a chance, but we're paying attention. Me and my wife pay attention. They don't give anybody a chance. It's like I said, you put somebody in front of us. My wife's catching on. I guarantee you she's catching on. It doesn't take her long. She's been around me 10 years now, going on 11. 11 this year. She said to me the other day, and I remembered this, I ain't seen nobody tear down as many people as he does and how he does it. How I work. A lot of it was part of it was my mama. Like I said, my mama didn't want me to be a bull. Didn't want me to get bullied at school. Didn't want me to allow nobody to run me over. Right? Didn't want me to come home crying to mom and daddy. So, do you get that out of the kids anymore? Probably not. Probably don't get my mouth. You probably don't have my tone of voice. But you got a voice. But if you're one of them that's easy to run over, you've most likely not had good parents. So that goes along with how I treat people today. Now, like I did, I gave all people a fair chance. People from school, the only time they came up to me was when, they saw Derek pulling out the, he can get done before we can deal or with his work, and that attracted a couple of guys over there to my way. But as said, I had my own spot. It's not that I've not sat in a desk before, but they were usually tougher to sit in and all in a row or something if there was a class like that, and I didn't really have, but if they ever had a table available, that's about where I was at most of the time. So, it just like we said, it goes to show we expect certain things to be done a certain way. If you can do it for your own dogs, you can do it for us too. You wouldn't get yelled at, cussed at, and whole 9 yards if you didn't do the things you're doing on purpose to make the worst impressions possible. People out here dialing people's numbers on just out here playing around, goofing around, prank calling people, saying that this person's here when they're not. Those type of people. You get some of those once in a while, eh? Yeah. We know who's here. So somebody out on social media wanting to know, who's in this house, who's in that house. They've heard all these videos, they should know by now. If you're one of them few that don't get on social media, well, like I told earlier in this video, I now know why, because anybody that want to give the whole world a chance, right? Now understands why. You can't meet nobody outside your comfort zone because they don't have the time or the money or the want to get in there and make the extra effort to help somebody. We can't travel all over the world for one thing, because I'm not one of them that likes to travel. My wife's more of a traveler than me, but she couldn't help it. So that's what they got. Wherever she was born, where she's born at. I was born where I was born at. But favorably, I don't like going to very far places. I wouldn't mind taking occasional trips somewhere. Thank you, hon.
Careful, it's hot right now, baby.
I know it.
It's hot.
I ain't gonna try to drink it right now. Okay. Yeah, I know, sweetie. She made me some hot chocolate. Yeah, I got her. We've gotten on this hot chocolate kick. Yeah, it's sad what I've seen out of people. You know, but
I'm gonna go to health tours.
you just have to realize that people have they're easy to influence. They're easy to. As me, I'm a strong-willed person. I don't blame my problems on other people. I don't go around and tell people stuff like the crack whore does and say, well, who's crack whore, Eric? Well, just in case anybody knows her, it's little Susan out there. You probably know her, old Susan Rogers. You've probably seen her out there slutting on the streets or something before. But anyway, people like that blaming their problems on other people, and that other people can't help you because they ain't been thrown through a window, or hadn't been set on fire, or hadn't had their house burned down, or whatever the case. Or, oh, Derek, you've got to have been going through it to know what you're talking about. No, not when I've seen two of those three things from my own eyes. Did I ever pick up on them? No. Not just because I was told, but because I knew better. And one of the things me and my wife always get a kick out of is going back and watching these videos. After, usually when I get done, I like to go back and kind of watch them. Just gives you something to listen to. Because, like I said, somebody has to give some of these people a right act. I don't know why anybody makes a social media thing if you don't intend on using it. Over half of you are married or got things going on. I don't know why you make a Facebook. Unless you're out there looking for something that we're looking for, and may never find it. Like we know, may never find it. It may never find us. So if in a year or two it doesn't happen, between now and a year or two, then we may just say fuck it and give it up. You know what I'm saying? But we're trying to give you opportunity. So if there was anybody out there, again, didn't have much, and didn't have everything all plugged up and in the way, not saying you can't have certain things, because everybody has certain things, but if you got everything all plugged up and everything's just going to be sort of sitting in the way kind of thing, then, because I'd like for you just to have a little something. Even we have a little something, but it ain't much. It wouldn't be sitting in y'all's way, and y'all would be getting the full benefits of having us here type deal. I mean, if you had a part-time job, you had a part-time job. If you had a full-time job, if you had to work 7-8 hours a day, but came home and we still had, if you worked morning shift and come home during the evening, we could have that whole evening to watch TV and do all kinds of stuff, and then whenever you had a couple of days that's coming up that you get off, or if you take a couple of days off, go out there and do that. But if you don't ever give anybody couple of minutes of your time and sparingly use it to show somebody that they do matter and that you are being truthful and that you are serious about it and that you understand where people like my wife and I come from and that we're handicapped. We give up a lot. We give up our families. We gave up everything not just because this is what we thought we were. This is just an idea that came to my head. Like I've told her many times, it looked good on paper. It sounded good to our heads, you know. But there ain't nobody that again they don't know how to do. And just my wife was saying this morning, it's people right down the road from us, always in a bad mood, always, being stupid. Ever since, well, my grandmother, or as I call her, gossiper, had got that shit started with those goddamn dogs down there, feeding them treats and all that shit down here. This fucking house down here. I kept telling my grandmother, I said, at the time, I said, you don't need to be probably feeding these dogs. They're not your dogs. Well, I miss handing them treats. Well, that it wasn't just dogs. It was goats too at the time. And but anyway, uh, it's just like I said. And then my grandmother on purpose waited till that woman came out there. And I was trying to get her to just leave. Oh no, I'll sit here. Oh my God. Me and my wife was in that car, and buddy, if I'd have been in that driver's side, and she'd have came out there and tried to get me, I would have chewed her ass out. I would not. For one thing, I wouldn't. Like I said, I wouldn't have sat there and waited on that person to come down there. But they wonder why April or whoever that bitch is up here, just right across from the road from us up here. You wonder why you get treated bad because, like I said, I run you down. You had no respect. No respect whatsoever. Somebody was trying to do something nice. Well, I didn't ask you to, didn't want you to. Well, be glad somebody gives something treats. Probably more attention than you give it. It just sits out there on a chain, doesn't it? Probably doesn't get hardly 5 minutes of your time. You're upset because somebody else wants to pay your animals some attention. What's the matter with you? Yeah, like I said, down here in Decatur, Tennessee, got people like that down here. Always got to show out. Always got to fuss. Always got to fight. Always got to have an issue. Yesterday, I ran down the other day or whatever. It was that old Candy Rogers person I ran over on a video. I had to run her down on the video before. Because, like I said, this time don't heal wounds. When there's somebody I don't like, and people putting things in your way that shouldn't be done that way. If I don't like you, I don't want to put up with you. My wife, she's the same way. She's come out and told me yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. She said, "Man, you taught me a lot of things about how things are today in general." She didn't view them quite that way when she first met me, but she's come to realize even the ones up here in the store, they try to accuse people of hurting people. Or one time she went in there and she had a little old scratch from one of these little cats out here. And, oh, did Derek do that? Oh my God. I mean, it's like I said, you can't win for losing. It's always something. But I'm not usually out playing with dogs and pets and things of that nature. But my goodness, you can tell a human scratch from a cat scratch. And even if it was happening, it was probably planned. Most people don't. I mean, women in self-defense might use their nails. Men don't scratch women like that. So like I said, it might be normal for a lady to use their nails because if they let them grow out past their, they've got these nails you can have, grow out kind of long. So yeah, I can kind of see that for a woman. But my goodness, these people don't know a difference from an animal scratch, from a human being scratching themselves. Goodness gracious. I mean, it's one time Roger was over there that day or something, and some of them, I chewed her butt out. And like my wife knows, and I've known for a long time, I wasn't afraid to do it. And the next person, hopefully, if there's any more, that's all I get done, straightening people out. Like I said, we don't get to be nice or anything like that, but so it's up to you all. Like I said, you know what me and my wife's looking for. If you're that person, you know what to do. But anyway, I went on here almost an hour and a half now. So I'm gonna get off. See you later.